Financial disclaimer. The information provided in this stream is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be considered as professional financial or investment advice. We are not licensed financial advisors, and the content presented here is based on our personal opinions and experiences. Investing in stocks and other financial instruments involves risk, including the potential loss of capital. Any investment decisions you make are solely your own responsibility, and you should conduct your own research and consult with a qualified financial professional before making any investment choices. The content we share on this stream may not be accurate, complete, or up to date. Market conditions and financial regulations can change rapidly, and we cannot guarantee the accuracy or reliability of the information presented. We do not endorse or promote any specific stocks, companies, or investment strategies. Any actions you take based on the content of this stream are at your own risk, and we will not be held liable for any losses or damages that may occur as a result. Always remember that past performance is not indicative of future results, and no investment is guaranteed to be profitable. Make informed decisions and consider your risk tolerance before investing any funds. By accessing and using this stream, you acknowledge and agree that we are not responsible for any investment decisions you make as a result of the content presented. You are encouraged to seek advice from qualified financial professionals for personalized guidance. Please invest responsibly and only with money you can afford to lose.
Hey man, just found the next guaranteed multi-bagger.
Hey man, you found another one? What is it this time?
Come check this out.
Hey everybody, welcome to the stream. This is Redneck Johnny, and we are back for another Thursday stream. If you paid attention earlier this week, Dane could unfortunately not do his stream on Tuesday, but we are working to get one together on Saturday. But it might be a little bit earlier than we are used to. It may be like 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that would be very early if you are based in the States, and around, 12 o'clock in Europe. It's just how it is sometimes, and we of course understand that it's hard to tune in when we are so early, but hopefully you guys can watch the replay on the channel later. But we are trying to do one on Saturday. It's just been a bit busy for us the last days and weeks. Just if you want to tune in, follow us on X and check for our updates there. We will post about the schedule on Saturday there. But over to today, I see a lot of stuff are moving. I saw silver miners, and also the silver up here is on the way up. A lot of green, so it continues to be a bit green. Canopy again up, a big move. Bitcoin keeping around 60,000. I see. I saw Sibania Stillwater is up a lot today as well. RK was involved with these people. I'm sure he saw that at the top. They have fallen drastically since then, but a little bit of a move up now again. I don't have a position there, and I also haven't checked them for quite some time, but 870 really, that's a big move. Gold is also up. I was waiting for the gold miners to go up and become green in my sheet today, as well as silver. And as you know, I've been looking a little bit in the last weeks for some gold miners, and maybe now even silver miners, but like I always keep saying, I haven't managed to find any attractive ones, except the one that had an accident in Turkey that I have in the tracker sheet and are paying close attention to, but haven't moved in on that still. It's a lot of uncertainty around that still, so I'm waiting a little bit. Uranium up again, 274. We have talked about this chart before, and it keeps looking good. You saw it pull back a little bit here, found the same spot, and then bounce back up again. So if this now gets a bit higher than the last one, that's a bit bullish sign on the technical side of this. So yeah, uranium. Something to keep an eye on, I think, still. But yeah, the gold miners and silver miners are the ones that sticks out to me today. Rare earth as well. Some stuff here in the risk column. A lot of these are the same. You see, rare earth is here as well. So they are multiple places in the sheet. Shipping. This is just Maersk tracking Maersk, the company, and we saw it not too long ago as well. So you see it's in a bit of a bullish uptrend here, after a big drop, of course. But let's see where it goes. This level here, it's a long time since you ended on 620, you know. So you might get a bounce back again, or a fallback maybe. So yeah, I just wanted to quickly go through the dashboard, and today, of course, we're gonna talk a little bit about the first quarter for ALTO. They reported on Monday, and I'm planning to go through the report just like a little bit, and then talk a little bit about yeah, what I expect. Not much changed, but I will go more into it later. Then I saw GME is up a lot today, actually. Let us check here. And in a month, up like 60%. So you know, look at this. From around 10, even lower if you go back a little bit, to almost 20 now. So are we gonna get another another GME you know, madness? I saw in I have this, I don't pay attention to it too much. Let me check. This tracks like the social sentiment around on social media platforms, and GME was number one by far for a long time, but now recently has dropped a bit, and I saw it was like down here at 28th position, and you know, even now it's a bit down, but yeah, just something like, you know, when you deal in like these type of meme stocks and the stocks that has momentum, these things comes into play as well, the social sentiment. So just something I like to you know, pull up every now and then to check. Yeah, and I think I mentioned this also when Dane and I was talking about Nikola a while back, because Nikola has that potential to, when that moves, it moves heavily both directions, up and down. So I saw Nikola come in here at some part, and I've been waiting a little bit for that, and they dropped out immediately, I think. So it wasn't any it wasn't like a big deal, but I have been waiting for them to come in here on the first page here, but they disappeared very quickly. And then of course the price has also halved since then, since it was like above $1. So yeah, just something I pay attention to sometimes. apewisdom.io is the website if you guys want to check it out. Yeah, GME crazy move up again. I've actually pulled them up in the fundamentals today. I'm not GME right now. I don't think it's a company that I will be involved in. It's a bit big now, and I haven't paid attention since everything happened. I just, you know, after everything happened there, the thing was, you know, it was a bit crazy, and it got a lot of fans, the stock, and people who expected things to happen that maybe it hasn't happened so far, but now it has moved almost like a double in 1 month. So it's interesting to pay attention to, I think. It has moved almost. So I'm planning just to check it out today. I have a few tickers, so I'm thinking to skip the daily movers today, because I did them as always a bit earlier. But yeah, I don't think I will spend more time here in dashboard. Just like the gold is the interesting, and silver, of course. But I wanted to go like just quickly to screen through Open Insider today. I haven't done that for a while, and of course you find it places in my sheets, like in the tracker sheet and daily movers and stuff. I pull in the information from Open Insider here, and also in the tracker sheet, so I get notified. But sometimes I like to just go directly into the website and watch. And what's really cool with them is that they have this chart popping up if you just hover over the ticker. And sometimes I just use it because I don't really want to spend time on the ones that are moving up a lot. I want to see the ones who are falling, and then inside the comments and buy. That's immediately interesting for me. And I have this this menu here that I can open up straight into Market Watch, for example, to just check the market cap real quick. To see if it's like interesting stock for me that is worth pulling up. But of course I would have no idea about the metrics and stuff like that, so sometimes it's a complete miss when I pull these up. But I mean, this one, if you look here, there are 2 insider buys now, and if you just look at the quick chart here, it's down a lot. So I'm curious to see what's going on there, so I think I will pull them up straight away actually. Sorry, I just had to fix my camera. Sometimes it freezes on me. See, they have some warrants. Puts me off a bit, but I'm gonna still pull them up and check. Okay. This is a big fund taking a position of 34 million. But it's they just IPO'd, it seems like, so I'm not gonna bother. And of course, sometimes I see familiar tickers here. And what I like to watch when I go through this is the name of the tickers, the name of the people, and the title they have, and then of course the amount of shares that they have purchased, and then, like I said, the chart. Just a quick look. This is nothing. This is no you know, exact science or anything like that. I have some heavy buys though. And I saw I have prepared the ticker ATNI that I pulled up a while ago. Dane actually texted me yesterday or whatever it was and said, hey, have you checked out ATNI? I think they look a bit interesting if they drop a little bit more. And then I said to him, like, yeah, I pulled them up on the stream recently, but now there's a new insider buy, so that made it a bit more interesting. So I'm going to pull it up today because there's somewhat big insider buy there, which was something that I on the stream talked about, that insider at these levels would be interesting because it dropped like 30% in a day, and then the guy bought, the insider bought. So I just found that interesting. Carvana. And of course I forgot to mention it, but they have the trade dates here and then the filing dates here. So that's also important. Sometimes there's some weird stuff going on. It's like they report like a year later than they bought and stuff like that. So it's important to check out the dates to not get tricked, you know. That's of course in unique cases, but I actually seen like a year behind the filing. I don't know how that is possible. Lumen, we have seen some insider there recently. Look at this since 24 started, 5 insider buys. They're not huge, but the last one was president and CEO at 128. Not a bad sign. Yeah. X5. Now we are in April, so I'm not sure if I'm going to move scroll so much further down here. Here you have one from ATNI. This is the one I talked about. 200,000. And not recently, but somewhat recently, he has bought for like 500,000 in since November. So, and look, he missed on the first buy because the price dropped a lot down to around here. And I think on the stream I mentioned that I found it a bit expensive at the moment when it was like around 20 or 19. And I wanted it to drop a little bit more, but it hasn't done. It went up again. So we're going to go through it later on the stream. Hasn't done. But it's for sure, this is exactly what one of the things that I wanted to see. So that was a bit exciting when I saw that. Graph Tech, we have pulled them up before. Interesting. Mastercraft. I'm not gonna do more now because I'm like up to date here now. Still Connect. I saw Dane did a stream with them. Interesting. Big insider as well, you know. But so was Mastercraft, and if you look at Mastercraft, it keeps being around like 20. It doesn't want to move this one. I want it cheaper. Like 2024 now. Just checking some news here. Here. Coliseum Capital Management increased its stake in both manufacturer to 2.2 million shares. Coliseum purchased blah 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 price ranging from 20 to 22. Following the purchase, the Coliseum now owns 13% of Mastercraft Bolt Holdings outstanding stock. Shares have lost roughly 5% year to date. I was hoping for a little bit more news there. I haven't found so much, but activist investors. So that's you know, it's something that I want to see and like to see, but I want it still to drop a bit more. But those boats, they are cool. All right, let's do some of the fundamental stuff then. I think I will start just with Alto today to just talk about the report and everything, because there has been some interesting development there, you know. We're not going to watch the fundamentals on Alto because we've done it before, and you know, something is wrong here. there's one of the numbers that are missing, so you can ignore this data for this time. It's not important. If you want to check the fundamentals on ALTO, you can watch previous streams that we have pulled it up. But I'm not going to bother fixing this stuff right now. The reason I pull them up is to check like the transcript. Because I listen to the transcript, I tune in and listen to it every time. I found like one part interesting. Where are we? Transcript. Portfolio. This one. This part. Because we are waiting a bit on an asset sale here, you know, the Western plans, which drag them down. They can't seem to make a profit on those one. They have a higher cost than what they can generate. So the hope is that they're gonna sell them and use the money to fund the carbon capture program that they are bringing in. So I'm kind of expecting that still, though, that they will do this, because look here, and I know this is a bit vague. They are talking about like we continue to assess our current portfolio of assets, and you need a little bit of the backstory here, because on the last call, the Q4, they for the first time like separated out the Western plants in their balance sheets and the cash flow statement, to at least I and other people took that as a sign that they want to highlight the numbers individually on each plant, maybe to attract buyers and to be transparent with what they generate and what it costs and everything like that. So then we were talking a little bit about, and people were talking a little bit about that that was a bit bullish if you think they're gonna end up selling these assets, or the Western plants at least. And then of course when they continue now on the call to say that they continue to assess our current portfolio of assets, it can be viewed as like that they of course that they continue to assess the situation, but I mean, if they don't plan to do this, why are they saying anything, you know? If they don't plan to sell anything, I wouldn't speak about it like this in this call. So that's what I was thinking. And it's nothing substantial. Like it's not like we for sure knows that they are talking about selling these things, but when you add everything together, I think it's clear that they are working on something and that they kind of want to attract, but they also said pretty clear on last call that they're not going to sell to anyone or for any price, you know. They know what they are worth. And I know Justin has like he's pretty sure that they will get minimum 100 million for them, and you know the market cap right now is 137 million. So if they can pull that off, that's pretty hectic. And by the way, it did drop on the call like 10%. It did drop after the Q1 report. I don't really understand it, because that report was not too bad. That report was okay. It wasn't amazing, and I see a lot of people are still frustrated with the management and that there's always some kind of issue, which is, in fairness, it kind of has been, but at the same time, I think a big part of a lot of people being frustrated is that they jumped into ALTO at the wrong time, kind of like I've done, but I've been in them for a way longer period, I think, than most people have, that I see are talking about them now. So I have, like I said, I have been paying attention to the quarterly reports and tuned into the calls and everything like that. So I disagree that this management team is only incompetent and that they haven't done anything right. And of course, they have changed the CEO and everything like that. But these are all people that have worked in the company for quite some time, many years. So they are all been part of the good stuff as well. And there has been good stuff in ALTO, and they have proven that they have sold off assets in the past, when it has been naturally to do so, which they did. So I'm not buying into that they are completely incompetent, but there's a big but. They have messed up. They haven't been very good on the last calls, and I can understand all the points that people are frustrated with. That it seems like there's always on the next one that big numbers are going to come, and then it never comes. They always get pushed back. And I've also seen the narrative now that they're going to issue like shares to themselves, and you know, that's why they just keep this alive to take a salary here. And of course, maybe that's what's going on. I don't know. I don't think so. I think they have been bad with their communication. But I think on the Q4 and Q1 report now that you actually see a few positive things. And in terms of numbers and generational cash and stuff like that, on the Q1 report, this was nothing to cry about. I think this was actually, if you compare to last year, it was up. You know, the year-over-year data was up. So I'm not saying that I'm ecstatic about the results, but I disagree with the negative sentiment that is around ALTO right now. And you know, I added on ALTO a little bit ago at around 190 something, I think it was. And I wish I said it for today or yesterday, but it is what it is. And I'm positive that this will in the end result in an asset sale, and which will fund the carbon sequestration program that they have. And once again, why would they say stuff like this if they don't plan to sell anything? They just wouldn't say anything like about it then. And this, I think this was said before the questions, you know. This was said before the Q&A, so this was like a statement that they just came with. And if you then have some of the history with you, it's like, all right. They're keeping an eye on it, and if you compare, if you add the singling out on the balance sheets and the cash flow statement, it seems to me that they are trying to sell these Western plants because they're not very good assets right now for ALTO. They don't manage to generate too much there. Kingdom was on the call. Awesome questions. I don't think he's too happy. But Justin weren't, and I don't know why Justin weren't. Maybe he couldn't. You can read through this on your own if you want to. But I haven't actually gone through the recent comments here. I saw there was some comments here. I haven't gone through that now, so maybe we should take a quick look at these ones. Only thing we can hope for is they announce a tentative agreement to sell one of the plants during the conference call. They mention nothing on this topic and have no plans to it. Well, they didn't mention it like specifically, but the part that I just highlighted were, I guess you can interpret it in the way that I was speaking about. And Justin is answering, they explicitly mention asset sales. Not sure what call you listen to. Seemed pretty clear to me that the additional CCS plans they intend to announce at the end of summer are very likely aligned with asset sales at the same time to secure the financing. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. And that's kind of what they have done in the past as well, you know. And I know Justin has been in ALTO for longer than me, so he also has the history here about, they have actually a history of selling assets to raise funds. I just read through this. I still, maybe it's hidden. Yeah, and he pulls out the. He pulls out the same section. Super cool. just it is a bit. Super code is so hard to find. He's just being a bit funny. I interpret that as a broad statement, which means nothing currently. Yeah, you can do that, but like I said, if you take the Q4 into consideration as well, I don't see why they should say anything like this if they are not actually working hard to sell something. And I can understand people are skeptic to management. I totally get it. But it's not, in my opinion, it's not all bad. I've seen some people like this guy has urged Justin a bit to put pressure on them. And I'm not sure if he's... I haven't seen him reply to anything like that. This guy with a cool nickname. If they weren't going to sell, they wouldn't be assessing anything. No, exactly. It's quite clear their intention. And Justin agrees with that too. Exactly. In the meantime, peaking profitability increased from minus 185 to 43 year over year in the weakest seasonal quarter of the year. Without the Western assets, the quarter would have been about break even, which is really encouraging. And that's kind of what I was talking about. Like, this report wasn't bad. It was like expected, and we are still waiting for maybe a potential asset sale plus the carbon capture news, which will be huge. So I'm still in ALTO. This report is so much better than people are making out to be. Yeah, and I think the Q4 report was as well. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, there's a lot of negative sentiment now around ALTO, and I think the reason is that people went into ALTO at the wrong time between Q2 and Q3 of 2023, where they got burned overnight with a 60 or 70% fall overnight, which was huge. And I can totally understand it. Like, if I came into, because, and the reason why they jumped in was there was so much positive things going on in that time from August to, what was it, November? It was so much positive things and expectations for ALTO. And it was expected that they were going to kill the Q3 quarter. And then instead of killing it, they failed like big time. So if you joined in that time period, I can understand that what you see is an incompetent management team, and then you have all this negative sentiment because of that. And there's also, if you go back a bit further, you know, Jeremy Raper wrote activist investor letter to the management where he urged them to sell the entire business for $6.50 per share, I think he wanted as a minimum. And there's been like a few comments going on around with him and Justin, and I can understand both views. I just feel like they have a bit of a different time horizon on this, where Justin thinks a bit more long term, and for him then it would be a disaster to sell everything, and Raper wanted to get some quick gains on it, and he is claiming that he has been absolutely spot on with his letter, but I don't think that's necessarily true. If you like, there's a reason I'm still in it, you know. So if you think a bit more long term, maybe it was good that he didn't. And it was a bit weird, the whole thing, because he just wrote a letter and then you heard nothing. You heard nothing after. It wasn't like a good effort, in my opinion, as an activist. I agree. I know you haven't talked about the management incentive plan, but selling the plan seems a surefire way of increasing EBITDA too. This is pretty laughable. It's a meaningless claim. You surely do believe in tooth fairy, do you? Straight into attacking each other. such a good conversation, huh? I don't think it's laughable at all. I think it's precisely why they changed the management incentive and precisely why they're listing the Western assets separately, which they did on the Q4 for the first time. So that was a big point, I think. Everything they are doing points to a sale of the Western assets occurring this year, and they are aligning financial management incentive accordingly. And this is where it's important to have some of the history, at least in my opinion, because Justin has been spot on things like this in the past with ALTO. He pretty much nailed everything with the asset sale and then an update in the following January, because he saw that they were killing it, which also happened. And then, of course, he got it wrong like everyone else on the Q3 report, which is also, again, if people jumped in at that time, that's what you see, you know. So maybe you discredit some of this analysis, but I'm in Justin's camp at the moment. I think this wasn't a bad report at all, and I think the Q4 also wasn't as bad as people wanted it to be. The numbers, yeah, it wasn't on the Q4 report, it wasn't great. And maybe even it was bad, but on this one it was like expected, I think, and like Justin also pointed out, and I was saying year-over-year data was up, so it's not all bad. It's so meaningless. They've specifically mentioned it 2 times out of the last 2 years. I also don't believe in the tooth fairy. Yeah, I agree with everything here with Justin and this guy. To be honest, why would they talk about it if they don't plan to do anything? Look here, another hopeless squad. There's a lot of negative comments. Another 8 million in working capital road. At least it did do better than last year's Q1, which everyone knew it would. Still deep in the red without any clear direction on how to get out of it. Justin's replying, you do realize that the ethanol business is seasonal, right? An 8 million working capital loss in Q1 is hardly a material reduction, and it was a significant year-over-year improvement despite Magic Valley being idle. In fact, the Western plants alone accounted for 8.5 million loss. As the company clearly indicated on the call, Justin is way more clear that that meant that they were looking to sell their plant than maybe others are. Because he's saying, like, clearly indicated on the call, those assets are up for sale and will likely be sold soon. Not only is that likely to generate over 100 million in cash, but it will also remove assets that ALTO is unable to run profitably, while others with more cash to invest can generate much better returns from those assets. The peaking and marketing segment of ALTO generated 8 million in profit this quarter. That would have been break even in what should be the first quarter of the year for the industry. You're missing the forest for the trees. Exactly, and that's not bad, is it? Clearly indicated. I didn't hear that, and after reading the transcript, they did, and the closest thing was, yeah, still this one. But again, why would they say that if they don't plan to do anything? Anyways, we just have to wait and see here. It's up 4% again today. I think the drop was stupid. 10% down on that report it's not justified in my opinion. I have a feeling it will continue to go up till that level, like around 190, and maybe even higher. So I'm not too worried. I'm not too worried about that. Look at these drops. Alright. Enough with ALTO, I think. But interesting. I'm hopeful for ALTO still. I added a little bit ago after the Bean situation. I added my cash into ALTO. That's my only position right now. Let's start with GME then. I haven't pulled out GME for a long time. Haven't been interested. Look at the market cap now, 5.5. 18% insider ownership is how much of that is from Cohen? Twelve. Who owns 12% him? All right. Well, it doesn't look like... It looks like it's struggling still a bit. Positive EPS though. They have a lot of cash. No problem with the debt then. But they are not generating a lot of cash here, you know. So that's... they need to improve their margins so they can start to generate more cash here. And what's the short interest there now? Like that thesis, I think, is long gone, right? Well, still high, 24%. I don't know, GME doesn't really interest me at this level, but a good cash position. I guess that's very interesting. And are people still writing about them? There's a lot of sell ratings. Still with the ape thing. I don't know. I think the fundamentals here are not the best right now. But I would have to dig more into the story and like the updates and the plans for the future. And you shouldn't doubt like Ryan Cohen and that team that they have there. 100%. You shouldn't do that. But all things considered, is just too high of a market cap for my portfolio for this stream. So that's mostly why I'm not interested here on this stream. But of course, it has gone up a lot in the last month, from 10 to 18 in a short time. So look at the volume. You saw a pretty similar spike up here. Just a bit higher. The bottom was like 12 to, yeah, same point, 1860. And then it dropped all the way down, so who knows? Yeah, it's a crazy ticker. Anyways, I'm not going to spend too much time on GME. I just thought I should pull them up because of the big move in a month, you know. Just interested to see the insiders. Oh, they're not showing. There are some issues on the site, or By the way, I watched the oil fund that we have here, their YouTube channel. They had Ken Griffith on, and I watched him. I watched his interview, a little bit of it. And he made a better figure than what he did in that GameStop hearing, because after watching that, I thought he came out a bit bad, but in this interview, I thought he was a bit more interesting than what I imagined he would be. But I haven't watched the whole thing though. And they haven't talked about GameStop so far. I hope they will. And he was open. He was saying like he had made the same mistake like 3 times, which has cost him dearly. Maybe he was referring to GameStop. He didn't mention. Seems like the open inside the webpage is a bit slow now. I'm gonna just move on then, I think, to CTOS, which I found in the Daily Movers. Oh no, sorry. I found them in the Open Insider page right now, right in the beginning of the stream. So this is Custom Truck 1, provides specially equipment rental service to the electricity utility transmission and distribution, telecommunication, rail, other infrastructure related industries in North America. It operates through equipment rental solutions, truck and equipment sales, and aftermarket parts and services segments. Equipment rental solution owns new and used specialty equipment, including truck mounted aerial lifts, cranes, service truck, dump trucks, trailers, digger derricks, and other machinery and equipment. The truck and equipment sales segment offers new equipment for sale to be used for end market, which can be modified to meet customer specific needs. The aftermarket parts and services segment provides truck and equipment maintenance and repair services, as well as sale of specialized aftermarket parts. The company was formerly known as Nesco Holdings and changed its names to Custom Truck 1 in 2021. And it was founded in 1988, and the headquarters is in Kansas City, Missouri. So US company. They bought back a little bit of shares. They did issue, something is going on before and after these dates though, which was when they changed the name. So maybe there was a merger, something, I'm not sure. You see, they also have increased in depth in that time. You see, on tangible book is negative, so they must have a lot of goodwill or stuff like that. 373, so they do trade above book value even. They don't have cash right now. Look at the short-term debt, it's pretty high. 780 million in short-term debt. And then the long term is 2-3 billion. So I'm not sure what's going on here. There's a big overhang on the company. They come across as levered, of course. Revenue is up though, but is it, you know, they've taken on a lot of debt here in a short time even. I saw there was some insiders. But if the page doesn't work, I'm gonna just leave it there to load and check out Seeking Alpha, I think. So far this looks a bit ugly. They don't generate operating cash flow even, and less free cash flow, you know. So this, remember, this was the one we pulled up through the Open Insider page. So I was saying, like, sometimes you miss on the it's not that interesting when you pull it up in the with the fundamentals. And they had a big massive drop here down to $1. It has bounced up a bit since then, but pretty sideways since a year ago though. So here's from each. Oh, hold on, this is not the right one, is it? I don't think this is the right one. This is the one. Sorry about that. So here we are. We went down to 362 and then up a little bit, but the bit bearish short. And if it barely got oversold, so if it takes down this one, who knows where it will land? Maybe down here again. 246. But it is touching a few bottoms here. You see from the historical point, and it did drop and then turned around a bit at least. But this is a bit, I think, with the fundamentals that you see here, this is a bit hard to jump into. There's some issue with open insider. I'm just gonna leave it. Up 8% today though. This guy has a strong buy rating. So what's the thesis then? Strong buy rating, and it's down 30% since then. Custom Truck One source is expected to deliver double-digit returns in 2024 based on strong operational performances and favorable economic conditions. The company operates through 3 segments. We have said that. Custom has competitive advantage such as better access to capital, integrated solutions, a young rental fleet, and the ability to provide solutions for national accounts. Thesis: after 2020 change in ownership, strong operational performance, and currently favorable economic conditions, Custom Truck One should deliver double-digit returns in 2024. I rated a strong buy based on expected capital gains this year. That was a very generic thesis. I'm not going to bother to read it through. I'm sure it goes into depth here though, but I just don't like it so far. So, conclusion: Custom Truck One source is an undervalued stock that is expected to turn in significant bottom line growth this year. There's a good probability that this growth could push up the share price by almost 36% to around 9. That's backed up by higher earnings. And it's 452 now, so double. That's backed up by higher earnings, increasing capital expenditures, growth in the broader economy, and favorable tailwinds. Therefore, I'm giving customer a strong buy rating. No comments. He wrote that in February. There's no comments on this one. Nah, I'm not gonna dig deeper into that. I just don't like it. I'm a bit boned out that I couldn't. Oh, here they have fixed it. Oh, it was those two, right? Small buy here though. But in total, decent size, I guess. And they all bought on the same day. Have they done that in the past? Yeah. And also in May. It seems like they are doing that then. Anyways. Not interested. Moving on to ATNI. My camera keeps freezing today, I see. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna fix it, hold on. Always something, right? Always something on these streams. ATNI, we did research on them not too long ago, and this is the one Dane texted me about, and he found it interesting as well. I didn't add it to my tracker when I did the research on it on the last stream, and the reason was because it needed something more. But the thing now is that it kind of has got one of the things that I wanted to see, which was an inside buy at the level, because it was dropping 30% in a day. And then the insider came in and he bought more, which is interesting. And I did spend a lot of time looking at the cash generation here, and they have had very high capex in the last years, which the whole thesis is that now they will, after spending all this capex, they will get it down in the future, and then maybe, hopefully, start to generate free cash flow. Which I think they will actually, but even at $19, I think I said, if I remember correctly, that I wanted even more cheaper, like 18, 17. And I don't know if it's ever gonna go down there. You see, here's the drop I'm talking about. But it did go down to 18 at that time. And that would have been interesting to buy there. And then it had turned up pretty nicely since. Oh no. There's issues today with Open Insider. But the same guy who bought the last time bought now for 200,000, which is pretty decent. And I think the price was 1980 something. Which is very interesting. And look at this high operating cash flow. It trades at $24, and then when we first look at it, it was at 19, so 8 in operating cash flow. That's a lot. And the whole thesis is, like I said, they will slow down with the capex now and get it down. And they don't need to get it. They need to get it down a lot, but it's not impossible. That's what I was gonna say. So I think they can end up doing that. And my confidence on this stock went up after that insider bought it. So I'm gonna add it to the tracker this time and check where this is going, I think. Because that's what I wanted. I wanted something more, you know. ATNI, wasn't that the right ticker? Yeah. Just gonna type in a few things here. I'm gonna put 18. That was what I was wanting the last time. And I think I have a high rating on this. I think they can do this. I'm just writing like the things I quickly went through. Insider buy, pay attention to updated news on the capex situation, that it went down 30%, that I saw it. I did research on them and I wanted something more, and then I got it. And that's why I added it now. But it was of course cheaper when I looked at it. It was at 19 something. And then I pointed out that they do generate good operating cash flow, and that the whole thinking is that they will reduce their capex and start to generate free cash flow in the coming year. So that's the you know, the simple take here. So I'm just gonna add this to the tracker real quick. That's the yes, I want to submit it. I think this button is really cool. It's a script, and there's a tutorial on YouTube on how to do this. I don't remember the name of it, but it's like submit button or something in Google Sheets. It took me a long time to copy the script and figure it out though, but it's really cool. You type in all the information in, and then it sends it to my sheet here, and it generates all the information that I want. Of course, I have a lot of calculations and stuff going on, but the end result is this, which I'm very happy with. So here it is, and it seems like everything's correct. So now I have it in the sheet. I didn't catch that. I didn't catch that insider when he was doing it, but I saw it straight after Dane told me about the ticker. And I think he also mentioned that he wanted it a bit cheaper, you know, around 18, 17 as well. But he saw the same thing. And I think there's also an article here that is talking about the capex here. Capex come down in 2024, ATN should see a return to positive free cash flow. And the company has been undergoing a significant capex program. If you want to check like a bit the deeper research I did, check my last stream or the one before. I went through them. You know, in the description we list all the tickers that we go through, so you can just look in the description for ATNI, and you will find it there. But for now I'm moving on. I just wanted to pull them up again and show the insider buy and add them to my tracker sheet. So ASLE is the next one. And this one I found from the Daily Movers. It's up almost 10%. AirSale Corporation provides aftermarket commercial aircraft engines and its parts to passenger and cargo airlines, leasing companies, original equipment manufacturers, and government and defense contractors, as well as maintenance, repair, and overhaul (MRO) service providers worldwide. It operates in two segments: asset management solution and technical operation. The asset management solution segment engages in the sale and lease of aircraft, engines, and airframes, as well as disassembly of these assets for component parts. The tech op segment provides internal and third-party aviation services, including internally developed engineered solutions, heavy aircraft maintenance and modification, and component MRO, as well as end-of-life disassembly services. This segment also provides aircraft modification, cargo and tanker conversions of aircraft, and aircraft storage and MRO services for landing gear, thrust reversers, hydraulic systems, and other aircraft components. The company was founded in 2008 and is headquartered in Coral Gables, Florida. They trade at $8.25. The market cap is like 400 million, and they generate less than that in revenue. So the price to And earnings is like 1 cent, so that they have that, you see they score a bit bad on some of these metrics, but not too important. I do pay attention for that for screening and to get them into the fundamental sheet from the daily movers. So I'm not ignoring things like this, but when I have them there, I don't pay too much attention to this stuff. Just want them to be somewhat cheap on some metrics, you know. And this one is on the book value. It trades roughly around both actual book and tangible book value right now. But I must say, like, this cash generation is pretty bad. And what is operating expense here? You see operating expenses going up every year. They got the capex down a little bit this year, but and they don't have cash. They have a little bit of debt coming up now, and a little bit. It's not a debt heavy company, but they don't generate cash. So maybe they had like a asset buy. No, I mean a sale here. Which is a it's just a bit weird. I don't see. And they have some numbers here and there that messes up my data, so I'm not sure. I don't like this cash generation though, but let's check the margins. Maybe this they are turning something around. No, actually not. It doesn't even look that promising. Why is this 10% up then? There's been an insider a long time ago. Oh, here you have the inside for ATNI. So it's the same guy who bought 2 times and he missed on the first one, right? And then he bought a lot here also at around $20. So this is meaningful, for sure. Anyways, Nicolas Finazzo bought in March, along with the director. Or they all bought in March, and Finazzo bought 2 times at 7 and 7.5. So they are a bit up then. All of these purchases has gone up. But C remarks, who is this guy then? ASLE, he's the chairman and CEO. Why don't they list that here then? C remarks. Okay, it's the CEO. And he buys a lot. And he's up on them both. Nicolas Finazzo has more than 30 years of experience in aircraft leasing, finance, maintenance, and airline operation. Do you have his salary statement here? He owns 8.5%, and this Robert Nichols guy, who also bought, he owns 6%, 6.5%. And this guy owns even more, 18%. They own 40%. Yeah, I have a lesser data here. Maybe they haven't included this guy. Who is this guy? Number 5. Green Equity Investors. So they show up on Whale Wisdom, I guess, and that's why the data is not in there. There they are. They actually owns a lot. And you have this guy also owning. Why are they not listed though? Oh, it's here. Oh. I'm not sure what this means. Is it like, I don't know. Doesn't really matter that much. All right. We wanted to check the try to find the salary, right? What did it say? Here you have it. Sorry, that took a little bit of too long time. Well, in 23, he has a base salary of $1 million, a bonus on $2.5 million. So total, his salary was $3.5 million, which is a good salary. And I guess then if he buys for, you know, in a fairly short time for $500,000, it's not like it's a crazy amount of him probably, because you saw in the last year also he has like 1.3 million in salary, but it's still a lot of money for him, I can imagine. So it's meaningful, this type of buy, in my opinion. But I don't really I short interest 16.5%. I don't really see the case here. But I want to read, because there's something going on here that I'm not seeing. 10% up today. Beats by 7 revenue and beats here. So that was yesterday. So the move is on a good report. Last earnings call was probably the worst I've ever heard of any company. This one was a lot better, totally different tone. And in the in between the line guidance sounded promising. So that's something, I guess. My worst investment call ever, but I'm sticking with it. That was April, a recent article. And it's up a lot since then. ASLE had a tough year in 23 with earnings declining considerably and sales decreasing in certain segments. The company no longer quantifies its guidance, which may not appeal to investors. Here, aware the company's enhanced flight vision system received certification, but has not secured a launch order yet, raising concerns about its commercialization phase. Always wanted to become an airplane pilot. But I wanted to be in one of those jet fighters in the military. But I was too tall. I'm too tall. I will crash in the roof with the helmet. I couldn't do it. That's the only that's the only reason, right? All right. What is the thing here? But we need to see improvements, that's for sure. I believe that AirSale stock remains a strong buy as significant upside continues to exist, but we have significantly reduced our price target. The business excluding AirAware is not the business I would like to be invested in, but the reality is that excluding flight equipment sales, the company is still growing. However, significant momentum had built around AirAware, certification and commercialization, and while these prospects remain, we need to see stronger signs of successful commercialization on that end, especially since the company is no longer guiding quantitatively. On the condition that AirSale is able to ramp up AirAware proceeds, I'm maintaining my strong buy rating. So he's hanging everything on that then. Okay, we saw the short interest, right? A while back I read a report on ASLE by a short seller research firm called Ninja. The report was quite negative about ASLE's new software product. I was not convinced by the report and have no position in ASLE, but the investor in ASLE might want to read the report and make up their own minds. And this guy read it. I would like to point out that one of the bearish notes was on the patent infringement case, and the author assigned damages of 41 million to 100 million. Matter of fact is that AirSale has received a positive favorable recommendation on the case. So maybe the short report was like a bit too negative then. It just seems a bit tricky though to put so much on that AirAware thing, because like he said in the article that we need to see improvements here, and especially on the cash generation. Look at this, it's pretty bad. What are the people saying here? Oh, this is a big 240 comments. So there's definitely interest then. 14% down since then. And recent AirAware approval set stage for a potential near-term double from 9.6. Alright. How's the chart looking? You know, it was trading at 17 in the last 52 weeks. Up here. Look at this drop, so... And got oversold and then turning around a bit, so, you know. On a technical side, this doesn't look too bad right now, but let's see where this is going. With its share trading near all-time lows, AirSale offers 100% near-term potential upside and significant downside protection. AirSale experienced temporary challenge in full year 23, but has seen a sharp recovery in its core business in 2H23, fueled by robust feedstock purchases. What? ASLE remains on track to receive initial orders for airwear later this year, including a large order from rumor launch customer United Airlines. Due to its highly accretive unit economics, airwear's annual EPS contribution could reach $4 over the next 5 years. The market has overlooked the fact that CEO Nick Finazzo invested $4 million in AirSale in late December, as confirmed by Form 4 filings and the company's latest proxy. We saw him $4 million. We didn't see 4 million, but we saw the buys, right? Oh, I see what he means. In total. But saying it in a weird way though. Seems like he did all in one purchase, is that correct? It doesn't say new position here. Oh, I'm an idiot. I was watching the wrong. I was watching the share, so forget what I said. He has a lot of money in this, so he probably did invest 4 million in one go. Then 800,000 shares here. I didn't. Anyways, he owns a lot. And he is buying. That's what caught our eye as well. They are hanging a lot on this era wear thing. Which I guess is a bit uncertain. But of course, if it works out, they will be right, probably. And then these numbers will turn around. That's the whole thing. But I'm not interested at this level, I think. I'm not gonna put it in the tracker based on this one business, but they did point out that maybe United Airlines will be a customer and stuff like that. And I do like the insider buy, but keep in mind, it's not recent, and it does trade somewhat higher than the 52-week low right now. Not a lot. It's close to 20% towards it, but the chart looks like it could go up a little bit more here, and maybe you have missed out on the actual lows here then. But yeah, I think I will just move on with this one without putting it in the track, because I seems too risky to hang everything on that Era Aware business model. What have they said about it themselves though? enhanced flight vision system. Purpose: enables pilots to continue to operate aircraft during otherwise prohibited visibility conditions. And it's certified. So it's like a maybe like a not a night vision only, but you can see when your eyes can't see. You can see through the screen. Regarding AirAware, which is the only FAA approved, that's what I saw that made me go back now. They have a certification here, FAA certification for the awaiting certification flights. And they have another one in progress, so which is the only FAA approved enhanced flight vision system for the Boeing 737, giving it an addressable market of 6,000 aircraft. There's good news and bad news. The good news is that in December 23, the system received the supplemental type certificate. The bad news is that the company is only now increasing its effort to secure a launch order writing proposal to launch customers. Last year, we were hearing about the AirSale putting in production orders for AirAware packages ahead of its commercialization phase. Now, I do know that it was never a matter of manufacturing the system, and so I'm still a bit the same. It seems like everything hangs on that, and that puts me off a bit because they need to improve a lot here for me to be interested. And even then, it's too expensive at these levels, in my opinion. So, moving on to QRTEA. Interested. And it's too expensive. So QRTEA is something I have in the tracker, and if you have paid attention to Barry, which is one of our favorites, all-time favorites, right? He's involved, and he has been involved in the past as well on different levels. Where are you, Barry? I think he's on page 2, Cyan here. One of his smaller positions, but still it's a ticker he has been in the past as well, and he came in now at a lower, according to this data, he came in at the lower average than before, 67 cents. So he's up already, and you know Burry, he's known for selling out. Maybe even before the filings get known for a gain, which is has been very successful for him. But look at the fundamentals. They generate good earnings, you know, compared to the market, but it's very debt heavy. It is very levered, and that's the main issue here. You see a net common overhang is like $24, and the stock price is per share. And the stock price is 77 cents. But saying that though, it does generate good operating cash flow and free cash flow compared to that as well. And it does currently trade also on the book value. And look at the cash they have. It's something, right? But it's not. It gets them through the short-term debt here. But forget about the long-term debt. I think even we can check the bonds here on the FINRA side, which sucks right now. So they have a lot. And here you can see the maturity date. They are long term, some of these, but I want to check some of these recent ones. You know, they have so many. Let's check this 2028 one. Look at this now. When I press this and go back after, I have to do everything again. It's so bad, this website now. Come on, Finra. What are you doing? And you don't even... Oh, here you go. I don't understand these dips, like... I even like the old chart they had there much more. But it's going up, this one, and the maturity date is 28. Watch now. I have to do everything again. So stupid. And don't blame me. I've been in contact with Finra and I said to them that I think this is a bit... bad, and that you should have an option to use the old side, because the old side was awesome. But they didn't agree with me. So here's one for 29. No data display, cool. I hope Finra, I hope you are watching to see how I'm using it and how time consuming this is, and how fucking stupid it is. This is maturity date in 29. So look at this. This is a bit more interesting. It got as low as 29 in 1 year ago, but has recovered well since then. You know, still still heavy debt, and you know. But Barry more, that means a lot. Barry is a fantastic investor. But they do have that cash. So it's a bit messy, this, but if they can survive short term, look at the chart. 14% down today, by the way. Like I said, I have this in the tracker for quite some time, and the reason I pull them up today is because of the move, right? Big move today, down, of course. Oh, hey, Value. Hey, Value, I didn't see you here. Good morning, RJ. I just joined the stream. Nice. I love to see when you come in and chat with me, Value. I'm very happy that you come in regularly and follow us, both Dane and I. We really appreciate that. So I hope your morning is good in New Zealand. How's the weather there now? Is it starting to get hot, like proper hot? And by the way, are you on the North or the South Island? Because I know they are very different in nature and stuff like that. And it looks a lot like my country. I know, New Zealand, on the South Island, not so much on the North Island. Got all the way recently up to that. That was Barry bump, right? I can imagine this is when Barry the file. When did he file? 16th of February. Yeah. Let's check the daily. Here. 12th of February. Here, 16th of February. Goes from 1 to 180. Imagine having that power as an investor. Call this morning. I'm in the North Island. Okay, North Island is more. It's a bit more tropical than the South Island, right? But I wish I had visited New Zealand when I lived in Australia. It was something I wanted to do, but I just couldn't. But beautiful place. I've seen all the pictures. And you're a rugby fan or what? I watched a lot of rugby in Australia, and New Zealand crush Australia every time they meet. All Blacks, very good team. There's even a documentary of them. All or Nothing on Amazon, I think. Anyways, back to the stocks. Yeah, very involved, love it. They generate all this cash, which is much higher than the share price currently, but the debt is heavy, really heavy. Look at the sheet; it's like an adder almost, or how much dilution you need to get here. But the thing is, they can handle the short-term debt, and they can, move past it a bit. And we saw the maturity date on some of those bonds that they have, which is very far away. So you need to look at the short term here all the time. And you see they have had some asset sales even to maybe try to handle some of this. And they have paid down, all the short term here. But the long term debt is a bit up even. And they have diluted shareholders a bit. So I know Barry has been, like I said, involved in the past as well at a higher level, and then it dropped like crazy, and I guess he wanted to go in again, and who knows, it wasn't a big position for him, so he might be gone already, but it's still interesting, I think. Absolutely big rugby fan, yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, I watched some rugby games on the university. And holy shit, those guys were like 17 years old, and they had legs like almost as big as me in total. They are so big, those guys. But cool sport to watch. I watched a few of them on a big stadium, so it was good atmosphere and everything. So definitely a sport worth following. QRTEA already in the tracker. It moves down 14%. It gets interesting. What are people saying here? That was on our earnings call. And he's saying even good quarter. Any ideas why the market didn't react better? Which is a bit weird, right? A lot of people involved here, of course. So he's talking about they have a revolver that they're going to use to pay off the debt, the 2025 notes. So that's like, I think they can survive in the short term, and then maybe it doesn't take too much for this to turn around and start to, that you can see some price action in the share price. EPS is up a lot since 22. That can be due to like asset sales and stuff like that though. Revenue is down. Look at the capex also. Capex heavy. But operating expense down though, and substantially down even since the pandemic here. So you know, I've checked them before. Like I said, they are in the tracker, and I know they are trying. They are trying this management team. Oh, sorry. Maybe I misunderstood that this was a question. Oh no, those are two people working there. All right. But they're just talking about ways to handle a short-term debt. There's a good question about the 2026 bank credit. It seems the management that the management is confident in refinancing by reducing the credit line limit. So that's because I mean that's of course the big talking point here. So risky business this. Core customer count still slowing, declining, and was expecting better cash flow. Not a macro person, but I also get the sense retail in general is not doing great. So either QRTEA might be a standout in not doing too bad, or the overall climate is about to get rocky, and QRTEA will take a hit. I'm really not sure what the market will think of the results. Call is going pretty well though. I think management is doing their best under difficult conditions. That's my impression of this management team as well. All right, I'm not going to read too much. This had a lot of comments, like 200 comments. There's been a report yesterday that seems to be not too bad, but the market reacts very bad to it. And maybe, like they were talking about there, that the lack of growth opportunity has shown a bit. So maybe people are a bit scared and, sorry, not 200 comments, but 117. But in my opinion, it's cheap. It's cheap, and I think they can survive in the short term, but it's risky, and this is tough. But I see someone who is trying, and well, it will be interesting. Also, very involved, of course. It will be interesting to see in his next filing if he has sold out, or what he has done. If it's correct, the data in Well Wisdom, he has made money already. So. But saying that, I think he lost money last time he was involved, because he did drop. But you know him, he takes into consideration, and he has a rule, I think, that he sells out quickly if he moves underneath some point that he has set for himself. So improved on some of the margins year over year here, but some are also down. These are 3-year averages, keep that in mind. All right, I think I will move to the last ticker I have on the sheet today, Pets, which is also in the tracker. I found it because it trades close to the 52-week low and underneath my good price entry target. So it has started to be interesting for me again, I think. The market cap is now 90 million. They do have cash here, 47 million, and they do have no debt, so they are good in terms of the debt or a debt issue. Big short interest, 22%. They do generate operating cash flow, but look at the drop since 22. I don't have the 24 numbers, but since 22 it has dropped both in operating cash flow and free cash flow, so that's why they trade cheap, I guess. And it is around book value right now and a little bit above a tangible book. But what's interesting to me is like margins are down heavily, net cash flow, but I don't. They bought something here, right? 128. So for 25 million, they bought some assets here. They do pay dividend, which is a bit annoying, and EPS is down. But look at these averages though. 7-year average, both in operating cash flow and free cash flow, is around $140 to $150, which is not bad when the share price is $428. So I'm thinking this is cheap. And even interesting, revenue is up from last year, but I kind of want the 24 numbers here. How's the what is the chart doing? Look, oh, that's a bearish that's a bearish looking chart. You want to go into this one? You want to buy here? It's probably what you should do. No investment advice, of course, but this even got down to 4 and been oversold a while, actually. You don't see this so often. Since October on the RSI is like dropped below. The last time it did that, it went, but that was during the pandemic as well. So I don't see that often being oversold for such a long period. Oh no, they don't have so much depth, so no need to check that. But I mean, if you look at the compared to other years, you understand why you get the opportunity here. But and the short interest maybe is justified when you look at the drop in cash generation and stuff like that. But I think they should be able to turn this around, but maybe they are losing business or something. I'm not sure. I need to check into this. Oh, some old articles. Oh, new CEO. Okay. Matt proved to be too slow in reducing SG&A expenses and integrating pet care RX, so I'm glad to see things change. The new CEO has good credentials. So let's check operating expense. Oh yeah, operating expense has grown a lot actually. Maybe because of this buy. So they need to get that down then. Matt was slow moving, overconfident, could not even see this through. This company needs a new direction, a new vision. Simple. Ask Chewy to buy them. I've seen this before. I remember it from last time I did research on them, and I don't like to have that as a thesis or something like that, that they're gonna be an acquisition target. But I get it, but it's not something I weigh heavily. 100 million market cap, 50 million cash buyback. I would suggest you read. Okay, I've been hoping for some time and now have lost patience. But these are all though. Hoping they'd be acquired. Chewy would be a good fit. That was the same guy, right? I wouldn't go in on that alone. That's too risky. But interesting with the new CEO. Let's check the press release. She's been on the board for a year before she got the CEO position. Focusing on unlocking shareholder value through a renewed emphasis on customer experience, operational excellence, and digital marketing transformation. Veteran retail executive and current PetMeds board member Sandra Campos as president and CEO. Campos, a globally recognized seasoned executive in consumer retail with over 25 years of leadership, previously served as CEO of Diane von Furstenberg and president of portfolio of global brands including Juicy Couture, BCBG, Bebe, and Herb Leader. Ms. Campos' focus on the ever-evolving consumer landscape has transformed businesses for growth across digital and physical retail through technology, innovative marketing, direct to the consumer, and supply chain diversification. All right, so that sounds a bit promising though, but I have no idea who this is. So I don't know like how bullish that would be, but it seems like the old one was a bit disappointing then. And I guess if you look at the share price, he has been. Value is saying insider seems happy to buy pets at much higher levels last year. I've struggled with Open Insider today, Value, so I didn't check them here. For some reason it's like lagging a bit, but I will have it there and see what happens. But that's also like something to look out for, you know, when you check the insiders, because maybe they are terrible investors, and many times you do see that they buy a lot higher and then they don't even try to average down and stuff like that. So then how high should you rate things like that, you know? So it's important to not just see insider buys as a positive. You need to set it into our context. And that's why sometimes I also check the salaries, you know, to see how big of a position it actually is for these people. Because some of them makes millions. Ah, here they are. Yeah, so these are the ones Value is referring to. They bought in November, and that was the old CEO at 726, 726, and 734, and now the share price is 428. So that has not been a good buy for them. But saying that though, look at these sales at much higher levels before that, but that was straight after the pandemic. This is a long time ago. That's a lot of sales even. But yeah, insider buys hasn't worked out so far for them. And according to my data, the insiders own 7% here. Just let me quickly look that up. Here they are. This Matthew guy owns 3%. So they don't even own that much. I'm sure there's some rules with the new CEO and stuff like that, but when it has now dropped and it's trading close to the 52-week low, you kind of want to see more insider buys. And to Value's point, then they were comfortable buying at 7. So why not average down now if you're certain that this is a good company to be invested in? That would be a catalyst that will catch my eye. And keep in mind though, PETS is a ticker I already have in the tracker, and I do find it interesting, a lot because of the cash and the low debt here. But I'm not like targeting like acquisition that they're going to be bought up or anything like that. But it's also meaningful to me to see the short interest at 22%. And they do trade around book value, you know. And even if you see here the last year has been bad in terms of cash generation and stuff, it's still positive. Even on the free cash flow, it's still positive. So it's not like a disaster or anything, but they kind of have to turn that around. And interesting now with a new CEO, maybe that's going to happen. So I'm just going to keep it in the tracker and pay attention to that, I think. But it does look a bit cheap, but I would want it cheaper to be interested to buy in. And the margins looks terrible right now. They need to do something. But that's why I'm saying, like, they do have cash there and a new CEO. Let's see what she can do. So that's why you should track things. The upside here is pretty big. But again, look at the chart. It's just a big downhill. You just go back to October, it's a double from here. So, but I saw on Seeking Alpha they have a lot of misses. You see here. It seems a bit messy. Yeah, it just seems a bit messy but let's see. Keeping it in the tracker, I'm gonna pay attention to this new CEO and stuff like that. And a bigger drop. Could drop below 52-week low, this one. So I'm keeping an eye on this one, PETS. Alright, Value, was nice to see you jump in. I really appreciate it. I think I will quit the stream for today now. We've gone through some interesting companies. I have added ATNI to my track sheet today. A lot of the other ones I've already had. ALTO. I'm big into ALTO. A big position for me. It's my only position right now. I don't think it's that bad what they have done now in the last 2 quarters. Just want to check Twitter also before I log off here on ALTO. Oh, this is Courage. He's talking to Justin. Is it time to flip from SC13G to SC13D on ALTO? That's what he's asking, is if he wants to be more like an activist investor on ALTO. These guys always have some BS and new excuse. The dog ate my homework. Why not just sell the business? This is interesting though. Because, you know, if he starts to, I know, I've talked about this before. Justin had two Q&A videos about ALTO and PBI on his YouTube channel that he has since deleted. But I remember I was watching both of them, and he said on one of the, I'm not going to say this 100%, sometimes my mind plays tricks on me, but I'm pretty sure he was saying on those streams that he was in touch with Courage about ALTO and also other investors. So I know they have spoken about ALTO between themselves in the past. So that they still do that is possible. Or obviously they do when he tweets like this, but Justin hasn't replied, so maybe they do it, you know, outside of social media. So who knows, if Justin starts to actively put pressure on them for selling stuff, it's an interesting development. And Courage is asking the question here, and you know, Justin has been more open about selling the entire business lately. I don't think he wants to do that. I don't think he wants Alto to do that still, because I think he still sees a much higher price target for Alto in the not so distant future. But this is interesting though. I hadn't noticed this from Courage. So something I'm going to pay attention to, I think, for sure. But yeah, I think that's it for me today. Dane and I will be back on Saturday, and pay attention to our Twitter profile, because we need to update you guys on when it's going to be. I think it will be 6 a.m. EST, which will be very early. That's around 12 in Europe. But that's just, sometimes we have to do it like that on the Saturday, and I think that's what we're going to do on this Saturday. But keep an eye out for our X profile, and we will update you on the time for Saturday. Thank you again, Mally, for tuning in. Thanks for everyone watching. We really appreciate it, and we are still looking for the next big one. I'm not sure if I found it today, but definitely some interesting. I think even Alto is highly interesting for me. QRTEA, ATNI. From today's stream, very interesting stuff. So yeah, I'm happy and looking forward, and I will see you together with Dane then on Saturday. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye bye.